Hi. One of my favorite things about these luxury apartment buildings are the showers. If you go out and you get all dirty and then you come back to your home and then you're not satisfied with how good your shower is, then you're just gonna be miserable because the place that's supposed to clean you is not clean. A clean shower is one of the most important things. Now, would I pay an extra $1,000 per month to get a nice clean shower? Debatable. Imagine that you just took a nice hot shower and you stroll outside naked into the living room. You pour yourself a nice warm cup of green tea and you plop your clean-ass butt onto the couch. You turn on the TV and start streaming Hamilton from Disney Plus, and you sing along to it, the most horrendous rendition of Hamilton, and it's 11 p.m. at night. That is the exact sort of thing that you can't do when you have roommates around. So 2 years ago, I wanted to do an experiment. What would it feel like if I just rented a luxury apartment all for myself? Everything in a luxury apartment is just nice, modern, and clean. At no point do you have to look at this yellow stain and wonder where exactly did that come from. I'm talking about bathrooms, closets, kitchen cabinets, basically places where you store things that will either go on your body or into your body. And those are places that you kind of want to be sparkling clean.
First, rear, floor.
Another thing about these apartment buildings is that they have great views, and I'm talking about the San Francisco skyline or a statue of Aphrodite. If you do pay $4,000 a month though, you might even get a sunset view of the Bay Bridge, and trust me, it is stunningly beautiful. It makes you wonder, how much more am I willing to pay just to experience the sunset every single night? With all these great views of the skyline, sometimes you want to invite your friends over to experience it together. Let's just say that you're trying to host a party at the rooftop lounge, and well, first of all, your guests have to pay for parking, and it costs about $35. And not everyone is really happy about having to drive all the way over to your place and pay $35. That's a pretty expensive party to go to. It's more expensive than the cover for a nightclub. But even after they get over this hump of trying to park, you have to go into the lobby and tell the security, oh, I'm here to see Alan on the rooftop lounge. And there's this whole back and forth interaction with security, and they have to be let into the elevators, and they go up, and there's not really any easy in and outs either. You can't just casually drop by and then go out and come back, because this whole hassle of dealing with the security, it doesn't have that just casual feeling. As the host of the party, I'm keenly aware of these issues, and I want to make it feel welcoming to people, but there's nothing I can do about the security. It's not like I can tell, well, I can tell the security guard to just let people up. That's the best I can do, but they have to go through these long, dark hallways. I'm not going to be missing these dark corridors. Too foreboding for my taste. It's like a freaking maze, and the elevator is not really easy to use. They can't just, sometimes they even need the key fob to get into certain places. Everything's just inconvenient. Elevators, more elevators, back to the elevators. It just makes me want to avoid hosting social gatherings in the first place. So if you're thinking about living in a luxury apartment, just know that I don't think it's really meant to be a party house. Back to the dark corridors. When I used to work 12-hour days, coming home was more about just getting that sleep in. You don't really spend much time at home. But when you have more work-life balance, you start to spend more time at home. And the environment in which you spend the most amount of time in shapes who you are. So back when I shared a living space with roommates, I felt a bit constrained. I wasn't able to personalize the space. I wasn't able to freely invite friends over. I mean, these are things you can work out with your roommates, but I just felt a little constrained. When you feel constrained in one area of life, that feeling of constraint tends to carry over to every single area of life. Everywhere you start to have this sinking feeling of not being able to realize your full potential because there is something that pulls you in. So the thought goes that if I have my own place, I can decorate it however I want, be as loud and as obnoxious as I want to be. It really brings me out. I would not have been able to start this YouTube channel if I hadn't had my own space. Everything leads to something else. It's like compound interest. Money begets money. happiness begets happiness. So was the luxury apartment worth it? I think that highly depends on how exactly you use the space. For me, it enabled me to practice my cooking, practice my dancing, practice my video making, practice my public speaking skills. All these things are things I didn't do when I shared a space with other people, because I just wasn't comfortable. There wasn't enough space, but the apartment solved all of that. So was it worth it? Absolutely, because it enabled me to do all these things. But I can easily imagine in a parallel universe, there is an Alan who got the apartment building, but his life didn't change at all. He did the exact same things as he did before he got the building. And in that case, it might be a bit of a waste of money. So spending more money in and of itself doesn't really do much unless you plan the time that you're going to spend in this new space. And I think that's the most important takeaway. Before you rent a luxury apartment building, think about how can you use this place to maximize your own utility. And that is, planning is hard. We just want to pay for something and be done with it. But it's never that easy. You have to plan, and you have to carry through with the plan. I'm really not a fan of these dark corridors, but we do have a really cool rooftop lounge that I want to show you. Oh man, check this out. It's real nice. Down the courtyard, we've got a statue of Venus. Take a look. Venus is the goddess of love and vanity. I think it's no coincidence that we find ourselves living in the same apartment building. And here we have a sunset view of the San Francisco City Hall. This lounge over here would have been a great place to drink wine with your friends. Hello, doggy. Hello there. If you're thinking about renting a luxury apartment building in San Francisco, now is the time. We can call it a COVID discount, but rent prices have gone down more than 20%. You can probably rent a one-bedroom apartment for $2,500. That is down from $3,300. Still expensive, but the economy does what the economy wants.